Let's take a look at some of the names that are still out there. There are some interesting names. I don't know that they are necessarily big names. You know, when you look at the defensive tackles, Solomon Thomas is an intriguing one. I know you like him. We'll get your thoughts on him in a minute. You also have Richard Sherman, a veteran guy who admits his market has been moving in slow motion, is the quote he used. Adoree Jackson, an intriguing one, a younger guy, former first-round pick with speed, was released by the Titans yesterday. Then you see the edge rushers, and there's something that is questionable about each and every one of these. Ingram's coming off injury, is a little old. Reddick isn't your prototypical guy, had one big year last year, and a bunch of his sacks were in one game. Clowney has been banged up. When you look at those names, Ellis, who do you like and what do you like about them from those names on the board?
Yeah, one thing to just keep in mind, a safe, hard and fast rule in free agency, aside from the emotional overspending teams that seem difficult to predict, the Raiders, the Jets, the Jets of old, they're doing okay this year. But my point being, when it comes to teams like the Browns that we just laid out in your last question and how they think about and approach free agency, is fit and price. Those are the two main things, with price being, the main decider, with then fit, of course, needing to be something you trust your coaches with and that they will make this player work for you. So when you look at that list, I see fit when it comes to Solomon Thomas across that defensive line. I think that unless they bring up someone who I'll talk about in a second, I think that this defensive line, the defensive end 2 spot, the spot Larry Ogunjobi filled, the 3 technique at D tackle, those spots feel like revolving doors right now, and the Browns need some versatility. Solomon Thomas is a guy from the 49ers, top 5 pick, didn't quite pan out, but had some just solid productive years. Like if he was a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round pick, he probably would have a lot better reputation in this league, but because he didn't live up to that original draft point where being a multi-sack year type of guy, he's not talked about as much. The Browns can probably bring him into Berea for about between $4 and $6 million. Connection with Joe Woods in their time in San Francisco. Again, a guy versatile who can play both inside and out, and that's what the Browns are looking for in the defensive line. There's clearly a theme going on with the Browns too, targeting players looking for their second contract, younger, cheaper, versatile, athletic. Adoree Jackson fits that. Jackson is a guy who had the 4th highest outside corner grade since coming into the league, behind only, so 4 years, the past 4 years behind only like Jair Alexander, Stephon Gilmore. There's one more on that list. I'm blanking on it, but impressive company for Adoree Jackson to be in. Banged up this past year. The Titans didn't have a good pass rush. So a guy who probably some value there, definitely a name to watch. And the last one I'm going to link the Browns to, who doesn't fit the bill of the second contract in youth, but just because of what happened with Takk McKinley, there's something to a continued interest in Jadeveon Clowney. We've talked about this almost for a full calendar year now. Clowney's constant flirtation or back and forth with the Browns, it seems to be present and constant in a way. Clowney here could make a lot of sense. PFF's big on him. I'm not as high on him, but he is a guy as a number 2 could really not revive his career, but have a career type season playing next to Myles Garrett. I don't think guys like Richard Sherman or Melvin Ingram make a lot of sense. Richard Sherman, specifically an outside guy, he'll probably want a little bit more money. Melvin Ingram in that same category. But those first 3 I mentioned make sense due to fit, price, and then just a connection to the coaching staff. And if there's anywhere the Browns may go aside from a trade, I think those are the 3 names to watch.